everybody! There comes a time in all of our lives that we realize some friendships are so exhausting. No matter how much we care for another person, that doesn't always mean that they are required to be in our lives. I've learned that the friends forever mentality isn't the greatest, and it's going to set you up for disappointment. You're allowed to outgrow people, and that includes your past self. And hey, maybe this video is going to be a sign to you to really evaluate your friendships. So let's talk about some signs that you are either outgrowing or have outgrown a friendship. First, you end up pretending to be an old version of yourself. Our personalities change with time and age. It takes so much energy to pretend to be somebody that we aren't. And when we do that, our energy is completely zapped from hanging out with that person. You may even find yourself wanting to hang out in groups with that person. That way the other people can act as a buffer, especially when you need that break, that like 2 seconds of like, okay, the conversation's done with this person. Or you're in a group because, simply put, one-on-one time isn't fun anymore. And this ties into number 2. You spend most of your time reminiscing on the good old days. It may be pretty clear that your past is your only shared connection. And since your friendship dynamic has changed, you don't really have anything else to talk about. The key to any successful relationship or friendship is communication. Don't at me. When you're spending time with this friend and you have nothing to talk about, it's going to be awkward and boring. The conversation is then gonna feel forced and feel super unnatural. Pretty much there's no substance in the relationship. Number 3, you wouldn't be friends with them had you met them today. And be real, putting your shared history and knowledge of who they once were aside for a moment, would you want to hang out with them based on who you both are now? Do you low-key dread talking to them? Think about whether or not you get that sinking feeling in your stomach whenever they want to hang out. And it's okay, because I've had plenty of times when I first meet someone and immediately think, this is the last time that I'm ever gonna hang out with you. Number 4, the friendship has become one-sided. And this could go both ways. Either one of you could be putting in more effort into maintaining the relationship than the other. So let's pretend like it's you for a second. Maybe you've grown tired of that responsibility. Friendships shouldn't be a have to, they should be a want to. Meaning you shouldn't feel like you have to spend time with them, rather you want to spend time with them. And this ties into number 5. Either you don't miss them, or you've almost realized that you're completely happy without them. Maybe you're even happier without them. Plain and simple. Not much to say about that. Number 6, you both want different things. This comes from being in 2 different places of life. Of life? In life. Oh my god, I do that in every video. I also don't mean that the only friends worth keeping in your life are the ones that want the same exact things. It's more so the outlook on life. Even like the drive to do things and their just general approach to life. You could be someone that's super focused on career and climbing that career ladder or whatever and traveling. And they may be happy at that one job they've had for such a long time that's located in their hometown. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Neither one of you are better or worse than the other. It just brings to light that your lifestyles and your aspirations require 2 completely different paths. And with those 2 paths, you're going to grow distance from people who are moving in different directions. Some can argue that they're staying in their comfort zone, or you are staying in your comfort zone, while the other person is trying to move forward and trying to find something new. And finally, number 7. And my personal favorite, you realize how negative they are. Even with my dark and very dry sense of humor, I consider myself a positive person. Don't at me. Do you know how frustrating it is to try and support someone who, no matter what you say, will only be happy if you sit there and complain with them? And some people complain about everything, like everything. But it always makes me giggle when a friend is constantly facing the same problem over and over and over again, and then they don't even bother to try out anyone's advice, especially if that advice is challenging them. Honestly, I just take this as a sign that they don't take me seriously. And not that my advice will always work for them or for anyone, but it's just, they could voice that to me, it's fine. So those are some signs, not all. Now let's figure out what to do when you've come to terms with it. Moving on without feeling guilty will probably be a pretty difficult task for some people, and for others, it could be so easy if you're just at that point that you're over it. The 2 main things that I would try to do to start with, at least, is 1, the dreaded conversation. Have a conversation with them about what you're feeling and what your expectations are. Maybe you're not fully ready to not have them in your life. So maybe you should consider telling them how you would like to keep in touch and what comes with that. In some of my best relationships, we can go weeks without talking and there are no hard feelings. We may text occasionally to kind of like check in on each other, or we do that thing where we tag each other on social media and just kind of like laugh about it. But what we do is we plan for a big check-in where we meet up with each other in person or like on like a long FaceTime call, depending on whatever the COVID situation is at the time. And we give each other our undivided attention. For us, it's completely effortless and it takes away that hard pressure of having to work towards the relationship. The second one's pretty simple. Just try to shift your attention elsewhere. That person with social media and all the different ways to contact somebody, that person knows how to contact you if they really need you. I also feel like this is kind of borderline ghosting someone, but it's okay because if they don't reach out, it's like they did it too. A mutual ghosting. And in this time, you can really focus on where you want to be and who you want to become. Same for them, if they're open to that. And one final thing, I saw this quote. If you're not losing friends, then you're not growing up. I have to respectfully disagree. In fact, some of the most incredible relationships are the ones that grow with you. And I said before, communication is key, right? We can have highs and lows in our friendships, even plateaus. But if you voice your feelings and communicate your needs with that person, the friends that are worth having are the ones that will listen and meet you in the middle, especially because they want to maintain the friendship too. So yeah, that's today's video. It doesn't matter what stage in life you're at, outgrowing friendships is completely natural. Just please don't allow yourself to feel obliged to stay in a friendship or a relationship that isn't healthy for you. You need to associate yourself with people that are going to challenge you, inspire you, and raise you higher. Time is valuable, so don't feel obligated to spend that time with people who are not adding to your growth. Feel free to subscribe. If not, feel free to follow me on Instagram. My handle is intricate. Otherwise, I'll see you at the next one. Thank you. Bye.